So tell me about that example that we started to talk a little bit about.
Yeah,
that one.
it's a good example. This was a company started 50 years ago by an Italian immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 sons, and he involved them in the business from the time they were 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And this is now 40 years later.
Wow, okay.
40 years later.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone through a series of businesses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some of them which haven't succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
They sold railroad ties.
Mm-hmm.
They chopped wood for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, they got into the installation of windows and doors.
Okay.
And this particular company we got there had every reason why they should be immensely successful.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 brothers
Okay.
who had 40 years of business, 30 to 40 years of business experience in the same business.
Mm-hmm.
And these were smart people.
Mm-hmm.
They had the best cadre of second-tier managers we had ever encountered in any of the clients I've ever worked with. They had the best managers at reporting to them.
Okay.
They had no debt.
Mm-hmm.
They were regarded as the leading window and door installer in the region they served by far.
So what was their symptom?
Well, their symptom was they didn't make any money.
Okay. Well, that's...
They made no money,
Okay. So
Okay.
they came to you and says, "I'm this great company, but I'm not making any money."
and I'm not growing.
So how did
Why
how did
is
you
that?
help them?
Well, you have to understand this business. Any construction business is the equivalent of a job shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the characteristics of a job shop is every product is unique,
Mm-hmm.
as it is in the window and door installation business, and the product has to go through a series of operational steps before it gets out in the field for installation.
Okay. So you looked at their business flow and said,
Well, we said there's 3 things that you need to do to succeed in this business, and you're not doing any of them.
okay. So what were the 3 solutions you had for that?
First solution is you have to generate leads, other than by answering the telephone and saying, "Yeah, I can help you."
Okay.
You need aggressive marketing and aggressive sales. They had aggressive salesmen, but they had no marketing and very limited lead generation.
Good.
So you got to have the business to grow. They didn't have the business because they had no front end.
Mm-hmm.
No
So what
front
was
end
the
marketing.
second thing that you did?
The second thing is when you have when you have a series of operations you have to go through before you get to the field, so, purchasing and estimating and so on, warehousing, and so you have the series of things you have to go through. That's a cost center, and it's
So
a
you-
big cost center.
So you have to manage your cost center like a factory.
It is like a factory, and what characterizes success there is fast throughput.
Now, what was the third thing? We have about like 15 or 20 seconds to talk about the third one.
Yeah, the third one is labor control.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular case, this company had improved their labor productivity by 35%.
And I think what's interesting that in a down market, and the construction market is a down market with people dropping 10, 20, 30, 40% in sales, with the help of the SCORE management consulting team, these people have actually had their sales remain flat.
That's correct. The company A, I didn't know you knew this case so
Okay.
well. You know the case as well as I do.
Okay.
Their sales were flat, and when 3 of their competitors went out of business during that period, they increased their throughput from 60 days to 30 days, which halves the cost of the operations. Right, that halved the cost of those operational capabilities. They just got started in the marketing area for the last several months, but still their leads are above last year in a down market. And we're estimating that in a normal market, these people can go from flat earnings to $1 million to $2 million a year on 30 to 40% more sales.